I want you to hold two contradictory truths at once. In the 13th century, Mongol armies reduced thriving cities to rubble and ash, killing hundreds of thousands. Yet these same conquerors created the safest trade routes in history, connecting civilizations from Korea to Hungary. They burned the world and then stitched it back together. How does an empire destroy and build simultaneously? The Mongol Empire, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe by 1279, became the largest contiguous land empire ever created. Under Genghis Khan and his successors, Mongol forces conquered more territory in 25 years than Rome did in 400. This wasn't gradual expansion. It was a calculated storm that redrew the map of Eurasia. But speed came with a brutal price tag. Mongol siege warfare was methodical terror. Cities that resisted faced complete annihilation, not just defeat, but erasure. Urgench, Nishapur, Baghdad. These weren't just military victories, but psychological weapons. Surrender meant survival and often incorporation into the empire's trade network. Resist, and your city became a warning to the next target. Mongol military tactics weren't random violence. They were strategic brutality. Psychological warfare preceded physical warfare. Refugees fleeing destroyed cities spread terror to the next target, often causing surrender before a single arrow flew. The Mongols also employed sophisticated intelligence networks, using merchants and travelers as spies. They adapted siege technology from Chinese and Persian engineers. Yet the same empire that perfected destruction also perfected administration. The Mongols were pragmatic rulers who valued expertise over ethnicity. Chinese bureaucrats, Persian administrators, and European craftsmen all found roles in the empire. Religious tolerance was policy, not accident. The Yasa, Genghis Khan's legal code, applied to Mongols and subjects alike, creating predictable governance. Once conquest secured territory, the Mongols built history's most effective communication system. The Yam, a postal relay network, stationed fresh horses every 25-30 miles. Messages traveled up to 200 miles per day, unthinkable speed for the era. This system didn't just move military orders, it moved merchants, diplomats, and ideas. The Silk Road, which had fragmented during previous centuries of regional conflict, now operated under single imperial protection. Caravans crossed from China to the Mediterranean with unprecedented safety. This security transformed commerce. Mongol patrols eliminated bandits. Standardized weights and measures simplified trade. Passport systems protected merchants regardless of origin. Marco Polo's journey wasn't exceptional. It was newly possible. Chinese silk reached European markets in greater volume. Persian astronomy texts traveled to Chinese observatories. Indian mathematics spread westward. Arabic medicine moved eastward. The empire became a conveyor belt for civilization's accumulated knowledge. But connectivity has consequences. Technologies flowed across the empire. Papermaking from China revolutionized record-keeping in Persia and Europe. Gunpowder weapons, initially Chinese innovations, spread westward and would eventually transform European warfare. Printing techniques accelerated. Agricultural methods crossed climatic zones. This technological exchange accelerated human development. The deadliest exchange, however, was biological. The Black Death, likely originating in Central Asia, traveled the same protected trade routes. Mongol connectivity meant plague-carrying fleas on rats could move from China to the Mediterranean in months rather than centuries. The pandemic killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people across Eurasia, roughly one-third of the Old World's population. The same roads that unified civilizations also unified their vulnerabilities. The Mongol Empire demonstrated a truth still relevant today. Increased connection amplifies both benefits and risks. The Mongol Empire collapsed by the mid-14th century, fragmenting into successor states. But its infrastructure persisted. Trade routes, administrative practices, and cultural exchanges outlived the empire itself. They proved that destruction and creation aren't opposites, but tools that can serve the same vision. The world the Mongols left behind was more connected, more vulnerable, and more integrated than the one they found. That's the paradox we still navigate. Every bridge we build between worlds carries both gifts and dangers across it. The Mongol legacy reminds us that connection is never neutral. It amplifies everything we are, for better and worse.